The first week of December arrived with a refreshing change, offering a welcome break from the relentless storms and heavy rains that defined much of November. Across the UK, people woke to crisp, invigorating air and gentle winter sunshine, with temperatures milder than many had expected for this time of year. Parks and countryside glowed under the low winter sun, inviting families and friends outdoors to make the most of the calm weather. High pressure settled over the country on Tuesday and Wednesday, creating a spell of dry, bright days. This stable weather was perfect for those eager to get into the festive spirit. Families strolled through towns to admire sparkling Christmas lights, and shoppers enjoyed bustling high streets without the usual threat of rain. The clear skies at dusk made city streets feel magical, with twinkling lights reflected in shop windows. Daytime highs hovered comfortably between 8 and 10 degrees Celsius, making it pleasant to be outside. But as night fell, the skies remained clear, allowing temperatures to drop sharply. Rural areas in Scotland and northern England saw the first real touch of winter, with frosty mornings and shimmering ice on fields and rooftops. Thermometers dipped close to freezing, reminding everyone that December's chill was never far away. The ground, still sodden from weeks of heavy rain, finally had a chance to dry out a little under the winter sun. Muddy paths began to firm up, and parks that had been waterlogged started to recover, making walks and outdoor activities more enjoyable for everyone. This period of calm was a striking contrast to the wild, stormy weather of autumn. For many, it felt like a much-needed pause, a chance to catch their breath, enjoy the peace, and appreciate the beauty of the British landscape in winter light. The countryside seemed to exhale, basking in the rare tranquility. However, by late Wednesday, the high-pressure system began to weaken. Out to the west, dark clouds gathered over the Atlantic, signaling a change on the horizon. Winds picked up across open fields, and a sense of anticipation grew as the weather shifted once again. Soon, rain swept in from the west, spreading steadily across the country. Streets that had been dry and bright were quickly transformed, with puddles forming and umbrellas popping up everywhere. The brief spell of quiet weather came to an end as the familiar sound of rain returned. Thursday dawned under a blanket of gray clouds, with steady rain marking the start of another unsettled period. Commuters braved wet pavements and dripping skies, signaling that the dynamic, ever-changing British weather was back in full force as the weekend approached. As the weekend approaches, the weather shifts dramatically. Goodbye sunshine, hello classic British December, wet, windy, and unsettled. The high-pressure shield has moved on, replaced by a parade of low-pressure systems rolling in from the Atlantic. The jet stream, now aimed directly at the UK, acts as a conveyor belt for these storms. Expect bands of rain and gusty winds, especially in coastal and upland areas, from Friday evening through Sunday. This isn't a one-off storm, but a sustained period of unsettled weather. Umbrellas and waterproofs are a must. The Atlantic's power is on full display, reminding us how quickly UK weather can change. This weekend will be a textbook example of the Atlantic's influence on our daily lives. The dramatic weather shift we're experiencing is all about the jet stream, a fast-moving river of air high above us, stretching thousands of miles across the Atlantic. This invisible current acts like a conveyor belt, guiding weather systems towards the UK and shaping our daily conditions in ways we often don't realize. The position and strength of the jet stream can mean the difference between a week of sunshine and a week of storms. When the jet stream points directly at the UK, it acts as a highway for powerful low-pressure systems, steering them straight towards our shores. These systems are responsible for the wet and windy conditions that sweep across the country, often catching us off guard with their intensity. The jet stream's path can shift north or south, but when it's aimed at us, we're right in the firing line for unsettled weather. These low-pressure systems form over the Atlantic as warm, moist air from the south collides with cold, dry air from the north. This clash of air masses creates swirling clouds, heavy rain, and gusty winds. The energy released in these battles fuels the storms, making them more intense as they develop and move eastwards. It's a dynamic process that can rapidly change our weather from calm to chaotic. As these systems travel across the vast Atlantic Ocean, they gather moisture and strength, organizing into bands of rain and wind. By the time they reach the UK, they're often at their peak, bringing widespread showers, blustery winds, and sometimes even severe weather warnings. The journey across the ocean gives these systems time to build up, so their impact can be significant when they finally arrive. Earlier in the week, A strong area of high pressure sat over the UK, acting like a shield and blocking these Atlantic systems from reaching us. This high pressure brought calm, settled weather, clear skies, gentle breezes, and a welcome break from the rain. It's a reminder of how much our weather depends on the balance between high and low pressure. Now, with that high pressure system having moved away, low pressure has taken over. This shift means the door is open for Atlantic storms to roll in, bringing persistent rain, strong winds, and a return to unsettled conditions. The change can be sudden, with dry spells quickly replaced by downpours and gusty weather. This isn't just random chance, it's a constant battle between high and low pressure systems, each vying for control of our skies. Right now, low pressure is winning, pushing high pressure out of the way and dominating our weather pattern. This tug-of-war is what drives the ever-changing conditions we see across the UK. Over the coming days, expect repeated bands of rain sweeping across the country, with blustery showers and strong winds becoming a familiar sight. The wind will be a constant companion, making it feel colder and more unsettled, especially in exposed areas and along the coast. The stronger the low-pressure system, the fiercer the winds and heavier the rain, so be prepared for a wet and windy weekend ahead. Keep an eye on weather updates, as conditions can change quickly, and take care if you're heading outdoors. Friday marks the transition, cloudy and damp in the morning, with showery rain pushing into western areas. This is the leading edge of the new Atlantic system, gathering strength as it moves east. By evening, expect heavy rain and gusty winds across much of the UK, making travel unpleasant. Western cities like Cardiff and Plymouth will see the rain first, with it spreading to London, Birmingham, and Manchester by nightfall. The wind will pick up, adding a chill despite mild temperatures. Roads may see surface water flooding as the ground quickly becomes saturated again. Friday's grey start will end as a wet, windy night, ushering in a turbulent weekend. The calm spell is officially over. This weekend, the UK is set to experience a classic spell of Atlantic-driven weather, with Saturday and Sunday both dominated by wet, windy, and generally unsettled conditions from north to south and east to west. No matter where you are, you'll want to be prepared for a turbulent few days, as the weather will be making its presence felt across the entire country. On Saturday, a heavy band of rain will sweep across the country, clearing from the west during the morning hours, but stubbornly lingering in eastern parts of England well into the afternoon. As the rain moves away, expect some brighter spells to develop, but these will be short-lived, quickly replaced by blustery showers. Some of these showers could be heavy, with the risk of hail or even the odd thunderstorm, especially in exposed areas. The winds will be a major feature of the weekend, with strong southwesterlies sweeping across much of the UK. These winds will be particularly fierce along exposed coastlines and over higher ground, where gusts could reach gale force at times. Even in more sheltered spots, you'll notice the blustery conditions, making it feel even colder and more unsettled. Western and northwestern regions, such as Wales, northwest England, and western Scotland, are set to bear the brunt of the worst weather. Here, the strongest gusts and heaviest showers are expected, with some areas seeing persistent rain and the potential for localized flooding, especially in low-lying spots and near rivers. With these conditions, travel plans could be affected. Roads may become waterlogged, and strong winds could make driving hazardous, particularly for high-sided vehicles. Ferry services are also likely to be disrupted by rough seas, so it's wise to check ahead if you're planning to travel by boat. Scotland and Northern Ireland will see relentless showers throughout the weekend, with little respite. England and Wales won't escape either, as frequent downpours sweep through, leaving only brief, fleeting dry spells in the far southeast. Even these drier moments will be short-lived, as the next band of rain is never far away. In truth, nowhere across the UK will be immune from a soaking. Fields are likely to become waterlogged, and some roads could see standing water or even minor flooding, so take extra care if you're out and about. As we move into Sunday, the unsettled theme continues. More Atlantic weather systems are set to roll in, bringing further spells of rain and strong winds. The wet and windy pattern shows no sign of letting up, so it's best to plan for another day of challenging weather. With the ground already saturated from previous downpours, the risk of local flooding increases, particularly in areas prone to poor drainage. Keep an eye on the latest weather warnings and updates, and plan your activities accordingly to stay safe and dry. All in all, it's a weekend to dig out your waterproofs and wellies, and perhaps make the most of indoor activities. Whether you're braving the elements or staying cozy inside, be prepared for a classic British weekend of wild, wet, and windy weather. As we brace for another wet and windy weekend, memories of Storm Claudia are still fresh. Just weeks ago, Claudia brought torrential rain and damaging winds, with amber warnings across England and Wales. Some areas saw over 150 millimeters of rain, leading to widespread flooding, road closures, and power outages. Cities like Cardiff and Manchester were hit hard, with rivers bursting their banks and trees brought down by 80 millimeters gusts. While this weekend's weather isn't expected to be as severe, the ground remains saturated and rivers sensitive to more rain. Even moderate rainfall could trigger renewed flooding concerns. Winds may not reach Claudia's peak, but disruption is still likely. Remembering recent storms helps us prepare for the challenges ahead. Despite the wind and rain, temperatures will stay mild for early December. Southwesterly winds bring air from the Atlantic, keeping daytime highs around 9 to 12 degrees in England and Wales, and 7 to 9 in Scotland and Northern Ireland. You'll need waterproofs more than thick thermals. Wind chill will make it feel cooler, but not bitterly cold. Earlier in the week, clear nights brought frost, but now cloud and wind will keep nights milder. No widespread frost is expected. This mild, unsettled pattern looks set to continue, with no sign of Arctic air or snow on the horizon. The main challenge, staying dry, not warm. For now, the Atlantic keeps us mild and wet. With wet and windy weather ahead, a few simple steps can help you stay safe and dry. Wear waterproof coats and boots, and layer up for comfort. Driving? Allow extra time, watch for surface water, and avoid flood-prone roads. Strong winds can make travel hazardous, especially for high-sided vehicles. Check your route before setting out. Secure loose items in your garden and clear gutters to prevent flooding. Stay updated with weather warnings from the Met Office. Plan indoor activities if you can, and be flexible with outdoor plans. A little preparation goes a long way when the Atlantic is in charge. Stay safe, stay dry, and keep an eye on the forecast. In summary, the UK faces a dramatic shift from calm to classic winter weather, wet, windy, and mild. Active Atlantic systems will bring repeated bands of rain and strong southwesterly winds, especially in the west and north. No region will escape the rain, and local flooding is a risk on already saturated ground. Temperatures will stay above average, so frost isn't a concern. Staying dry is the main challenge. Remember recent storms, check weather warnings, and plan accordingly. Secure your property, allow extra travel time, and prioritize safety. The Atlantic is in control, delivering a weekend full of meteorological action. Be prepared, stay aware, and make the most of the weekend, rain or shine.